Baruch Hashem, this week is the 33rd day of the Sefirat Ha'Omer, Haomer. Just so we mentioned a few times that we will discuss the difference in the Sephardi and Ashkenazi customs as to does it extend until the 33rd day or the 34th day. To all these mourning practices, when do they conclude? Is it the 33rd or the 34th? So let's explain both Minhagim and how it ties into this week as well. The Sephardi Minhag, based on the Shulchan Aruch, is actually that we observe our mourning customs until the 34th day of the Sefirat Ha'Omer, is based on an ancient manuscript that was found in the Sefirat Ha'Manhig that Rav Zerachi Alevi quotes, and he explains that based on the Gemara in Yevamot, that Rabbi Akiva had a pair of 12,000 students, a pair 2 times 12 equals 24,000, who died between Pesach and Shavuot. That's what the Gemara says. And for that reason we mourn during this period. We all know that. Very simple. We're reminding ourselves what the Gemara says. Now, in this ancient manuscript that Rav Zerachi Alevi quotes, it explains that really the students died from Shavuot, from Pesach, until half of Shavuot. Now, the question is, what's half of Shavuot? What does that mean? So we know there's a Mishnah that says, Shoalim b'ilchot hachag kodem hachag shoshim yom. We ask and inquire about the halachot of a chag, about a holiday, prior to that holiday for 30 days. That's why before Pesach, for 30 days prior, we start learning about the halachot of Pesach, and before Sukkot the same, Shavuot the same. There's a minhag in Am Yisrael to study the halachot that pertain to the upcoming holiday for at least 30 days prior to the holiday. So therefore, if that's within that 30-day period, that's considered leading up to the Chag. So half of Shavuot refers to the time period leading up to Shavuot. Half of that is 15 days. 49 minus 15 equals 34. And based on that manuscript, based on that, the Sephardim have the minhag that they wait until the 34th day to observe their mourning customs. Why they stop on the 34th day? Because at the 34th day we have a rule in Avelut, Miksat Yom Kikulo, a little bit of the day is like the entire day. Once the day begins, we finish it and there's no more mourning on that day. So the Sephardi Minhag from here developed that until the 34th day they refrain from all the Minhagim we've discussed in the past. The Ashkenazim, the Rama, has an ancient Minhag, or old Minhag that says no, they would have their weddings, they would get married on the 33rd. They believe that the student ceased dying on the 33rd day of the Omer, not the 34th day of the Omer. And the Bach supports this idea as well. So those are the two minhagim, zooming out as to why some say 34th, some say 33rd. We've discussed already the Minhagim Minhag historically has been like the Sephardim, like the Ashkenazim, where on the 33rd night, on the 33rd day, they would get haircuts, they would have weddings, and if we have such a minhag, it's okay to continue in that minhag. Now, it's important to explain a few things, that this year, even according to the Sephardim, when Shabbat, when Lad, the 34th day of the Omer, is on Shabbat, everyone agrees that in honor of Shabbat, on Friday, you should get haircuts, you should shave, and even more so, as of Thursday night, you are also permitted to do so, preparing for Shabbat, the night of 33rd, which is Thursday night. You may get haircuts, you may shave in preparing for Shabbat. There are parties as well this year on Thursday night, and we asked Rabbi Chaim, and he explained that if someone who wants to go, who is invited to that party, and doesn't want to necessarily look with a full beard and relatively disheveled, Rabbi Chaim explained that for those individuals who are going to the party and concerned about this, parties or whatever it may be, they may also be lenient and get their haircut and shave on Thursday, which is the 32nd day of the Omer, but they should have in mind that they're doing it in honor of Shabbat as well. He sources the Gemara, a Tosfot that explains that when Tisha B'Av would fall out on Fridays, they were allowed to get haircuts on Thursday in honor of Shabbat. Tisha B'Av, that's a much more ancient minhag than the Avelut, and even then, in Shavuot Shechalbo, Tosfot said you can get haircuts in honor of Shabbat. We have to understand the severity and the importance of Kavod Shabbat, and for that reason, if someone needs to, they can combine the two, the Simcha and Shabbat, and get a haircut on Thursday eve afternoon as well this year. Just a quick overview of this year's Halachot Minhagim when it comes to the 33rd or 34th day of Omer. Chazak u'Baruch.